Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Stacks, and I'm back at you with another episode of Go Up Inside. I just hit 200 subs, so big shout out, much love to everyone that has been subscribing to my channel, everyone that's tuning in, hitting like, all my positive feedback, man, I appreciate that shit more than y'all know. All my subscribers, I appreciate that shit more than y'all know. To all my day ones, I appreciate y'all. Y'all the shit. So if y'all haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and let's get this shit up to 1K, man. What I'm doing is important. I'm shedding light on where it's dark and the fucking brutality that goes on behind them walls to our nation's youth is fucked up, man, and this shit needs to be heard, man. So share this shit, like this shit, and if y'all enjoy the content, man, subscribe, and like I said, let's get to 1K. Yesterday, what I came on here and talked about was my first escape attempt, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, fuck it, why not go on here today and fucking detail and break down for y'all my second escape attempt. So without further ado, man, today what I'm gonna talk about, my escape attempt number 2. So, yeah, man, if y'all haven't seen yesterday's video, go ahead and tune into that and watch it. I'll leave a link for it in the description so y'all can see it if you haven't. Also, I always put my whole playlist of videos in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? So, the videos kind of go together, so if you end up watching this one before the first one, it's cool. I suggest that you guys watch the first one and then come to watch this one. Excuse me. So, yeah, yesterday what I talked about was some of the pieces of contraband that we had gotten in through one of the staff members, all right? And it was like brass knuckles, a can of mace, a screwdriver that I ended up filing down into an ice pick, cutters, wire cutters, whatever you want to call them. In our rooms, we had a rectangular window. And in yesterday's video, I put up some of the pictures from Google 3D images so you guys could see the shape of the window. On the inside of the window, it had one of those real thick, heavy-duty metal screens. You can usually find them at, like, Home Depot. Not the cheap ones, the real thick fucking steel metal ones that you need bolt cutters to cut through. One night, I had the bolt cutters overnight, and fucking I cut a hole in my screen, big enough for my body to fit through, okay? To hide the hole in my window, because we both obviously couldn't cut holes the same night because we had to do it overnight when we locked in, and we only had one set of bolt cutters. To hide my hole, I fucking had drawings from art class, and the art teacher, if we did a real nice drawing or painting, she used to frame it for us in like these cardboard color frames and shit. So I had 2 of my drawings framed, and they were about, you know, one foot by 1.5 foot tall or so, but I had 2 of them, so 2 foot wide and then tall, and I put them in the corner of the window because between the screen there was a little gap in the metal that was the frame of the window. And I shoved the fucking pictures down in there to cover the hole. So I covered it up with the drawings and shit that I had from art class. And then the next day we came out and I gave the bolt cutters to my homie. And that night we decided that we were gonna fucking escape. And our plan was, at the time, there was one person on each wing that would do laundry, and he was like the wing cleaning man and shit like that, and that was me at the time. And every time we get a new intake, they give us their street clothes, and we have to wash them and then give them back, and then they go into their property clean, so that way they're clean when they get out, which didn't matter anyway because they were in the basement and smelled like straight fucking mildew and fiend sex. But what I did was I got a full street outfit for me and a full street outfit for my homeboy. Although we kind of looked like street clothes that we wore there, you could tell that like it was lockup type shit because of the pants were like khaki and the shirt was white tee, and then it had a stamp of NCSTU, shit like that on it, and it had our initials. So you could just tell that they were like clothes from someone that was in lockup. So I got us a real street clothes. I had like a Nike track suit, and then my homie had like some jeans and like a Nautica jacket or some shit like that that I jacked from some dudes that came in. Gonna cut a hole in his window that night, and we were gonna bust out. And we actually, if you watched yesterday's video, we had a code. The gate and the front door have a passcode box. It's like a 4-digit code. And the staff member gave my homie one of the other supervisors from another building, another program. She gave him his fucking code to the gate. So we had a code to get out the gate. And we were on the 2nd floor. So what our plan was to cut the hole in thing. And then the windows were little square panes. And they had the bars going through them. You know what I mean? And what we thought the bars were made out of was fucking wood. Alright? So I had everything prepared in my room. I had my outfit. He had his outfit. We had everything prepared in his room. That night when we locked in, he fucking cut a hole in his screen. But from me cutting a hole in my screen, I fucking dolled him out. So the shit started like getting really hard for him at the end. And he ended up having to like fucking literally saw his way through it. It's like vibrating the whole fucking wall. I was only a couple rooms away, so I could feel it vibrating and shit. And we actually both locked in early that night, so that way there was like noise and shit going on out in the wing. You know what I mean? While we were in there fucking doing that. So and then once he got the hole in, he planned to fucking turn his light on, come out, use the bathroom, and then come down to my room, give me the head nod, letting me know. And then that night at like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, we were gonna make it look like we were laying in our bed, and fucking climb through while we're hanging there with one hand, try to fucking somehow put the pictures covering the holes again as best as we can. Hang from the ledge and drop down. We were on the 2nd floor, but it wasn't that far of a drop. As long as when you land and you fucking hit the ground and like roll like that, you're usually pretty much okay, as long as you're not falling like from a fucking 3-story roof or something. You know what I mean? So he cuts through and shit and turns his light on and goes use the bathroom and fucking comes down to my room, gives me the head nod. Alright, so fucking, I'm like, hell yeah, and fucking my heart started beating, you know what I mean, because like, this is a super secure facility, we're fucking locked in, you know what I mean, and we're kids, like, this type of shit is unheard of. Motherfuckers literally busting their way out, cutting through windows, fucking hanging from the thing, dropping, and having fucking escape routes and shit with fucking getaway driver. We had all that shit. All that shit was planned out. You know what I mean? Not glorifying in any type of way, but fucking the shit's crazy. And you know, it happened, so like I said, I'm gonna talk about it. None of that shit we should have been able to get away with. Us being able to get away with it shows you that the system is fucking flawed. Because where do we get all the contraband? Staff member. He comes, gives me the head nod, and then later on that night, we were gonna fucking put a pair of jeans over the glass and bust the glass out and shit, so that way none of the noise would come in. So I busted out the panes of glass, right? And like I said and I mentioned earlier, we thought the fucking dividers were made out of wood, alright? I bust out my glass, push all the shit out, and fucking, I just fucking load up with everything I had with a pair of jeans right there, and boom! Punched the fuck out of that divider, and it motherfucking, I hit my knuckle and that bitch swelled up instantly. Shook the whole fucking window frame, fucking made a loud ass bang. Dude that was sleeping in the room next to me hits on the wall. Doom, doom, doom. Yo, Stacks, what the fuck was that? And I was like, nothing, dog, nothing. I fucking was in here exercising on my bed. It fell against the window, my bad. He's like, oh, all right. Turns out the fucking dividers were made out of steel. So here we are. I get mad. I'm thinking like, man, this shit must be some strong. I'm literally sitting there, 2-piece in my window. Boom, 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 boom. 2-piece in my window trying to get it to bust. Fucking not budging whatsoever. Not fucking budging whatsoever. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Because here we are now. Fucking big, huge, gaping hole in our window. Glass busted out of it. There's a little screen on the outside of every other pane, like row of panes. So I busted the windows out, and of course I knocked the fucking screen out. So the screen went laying down out in the fucking front. Now, granted, not a lot of people go right there, but if you were to look up and to the right, you would have fucking seen the windows busted out. You know what I mean? Like you would have seen like the the little fucking screen knocked down, and then the pane shattered because we had our jeans and clothes stuffed in the holes, because as soon as we broke that glass, it sounded like the fucking window was wide open inside of our rooms. Like, we could hear everything outside, people yelling and shit. So as soon as they were to search our rooms, because they would do randoms all the time while like people were in school or while you were out at rec or anything like that, had they go into our room, they would have knew like that. Soon as the door would have popped open, they would have heard it, and boom, we were fucked. You know what I'm saying? And so here I am, like, not able to get out. I'm dressed in these street clothes, fucking sweat pouring down my face, and I'm like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do? I am fucking stressing out at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, completely like whacking, you know, like, holy fuck, I'm pacing back and forth. So I go back over to my window and I'm like shaking it. I'm kicking it at one point. Dude bangs on my wall again and shit, and I'm just like trying to make something up. You know what I mean? To like not make him suspicious, because we didn't want any fucking body to know. It didn't matter if we were cool with them or not. Like, when it comes to something like that, motherfuckers will tell on you in a split second in order to try to get their shit lessened or whatever, or like get out early or whatever the case. We just weren't trusting no fucking body. I said, fuck it. I flick my light on and I'm like, man, whatever. If they hear it, they hear it. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just go buck wild with these brass knuckles and this fucking can of mace and just try to fucking beat the shit out of as many of them as I can. If they fuck me up, they fuck me up. I get caught, I get caught. So I flick on my light that's outside of my room in order for them to come let me out and use the pisser. You know what I mean? So they come, and at this time, it's not too late at night, because we wanted to have the windows broken, like I said, while everyone was still out in the rec room and there weren't no staff in our hallway and shit like that, because our wing was just like a long hallway, you know what I mean, with rooms on each side. And then there's a rec room that is completely enclosed on one side of the hallway, really big, where there would be rooms, but it's all one open space. And everyone was in there for nighttime rec, and so were the two staff members that work on the wing every night. You know what I mean? So that's when we broke the window so no one would hear it and shit like that. So I flicked my light on to come out, and everyone's still out there and shit. So once the door opened, I hurried up and went out real quick and closed it. And they're like, oh, why'd you close your damn door? Now we gotta unlock it. I was like, damn, my bad. I wasn't even thinking. Sorry. I just gotta go use the bathroom. And then when I was on my way to the bathroom, I told them that I needed like a throat lozenger and shit. So they took me to MedCart. And when I went to MedCart, I walked past my homie's room. When I walked past his room, I fucking flicked his light on and pounded on his door and went, whoa, what are you doing? He was like in the middle of fucking trying to like bust out. He was fucking jumped, like he fucking got caught like a baby with his hand in the cookie jar and shit. That motherfucker jumped out of his skin, turned white as a ghost. And I seen him, I'm like, ah, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Then I got real serious, and then he kind of looked at me like, you know, and then fucking I went and got the lozenger and shit and went back in. So long story short, we ended up not getting out that night. So the next day comes around, we sit down with each other at breakfast, and I'm like, dude, them shits ain't made out of wood. He's like, yeah, I know. I realized that last night. And then I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm sitting there fucking two-piece in my window, and B beside us is fucking banging on the wall like, yo, Stacks, what the hell you doing? And when I told him I was two-piece in my window, he started busting out laughing and shit, because it sounds funny, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm trying to break out, and I was two-piece in my window. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Sure, we ended up like riding it out for a good 3 or 4 fucking weeks, hiding those big ass holes in our window, trying to you know, figure out a way that we were gonna bust out. Because the first time we tried to do it, it got foiled, if you watch yesterday's video, because the manager seen us as we were about to go out the front door. So like, honestly, we were gonna try to do that again, but we were just waiting for the right moment. You know what I mean? And in the meantime of that happening, during shift change, sometimes they'll let someone come out and put a chair in front of your room and bust it up with you, right? So one of my homies ends up coming doing that, and when he's sitting there, obviously the holes are in my window, he can fucking hear it. And he's like, yo, what the fuck? It sounds like your window's open. What the hell, bro? What's going on? And man, and I fucked up, and I trusted him. You know what I mean? I fucked up and trusted dude, and I was like, look at this shit. And I pulled out my brass knuckles. He was like, yo, holy fuck. And I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a Crip and he was from Pittsburgh. And you know, he was like, oh shit, and shit like that. And then we were just busting it up and shit. So he's like, you know, what the fuck is that noise? You know what I mean? So I like, fuck it, man. And I told him, I was like, yo, I'm busting out of here. Showed him the whole, his fucking jaw dropped. He was like, yo, what the fuck, Stacks? You a fucking psycho, bro. You gonna get caught. I'm like, yeah, we tried to get out the other night, but the fucking things are made out of metal. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do now. So this dude fucking starts capping me up like, no, dude, we're gonna bust out. I'm gonna do it with you, blah, 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 blah. So our plan was to fucking wait. And I brought him in and told my homie and shit like, yo, fucking, I told him, blah, 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 blah. And if we were gonna bust out by lollygagging in the back of the line, like I said yesterday, it would have been better to have another person. So me and my homie's plan was to let him help us, and then once we got out, we was just going off him and fucking keep it pushing. You know, that's why I say I'm glad, even though at the time I was sad, but I'm glad now that I'm older that it didn't happen. And about a month goes by, and one day I'm sitting in class, right? One day a week we would go to shop class. And when we went to shop, when we come back, we go through a metal detector. So anytime that I had to go to shop, I wouldn't bring my brass knuckles and I wouldn't bring my can of mace and nothing like that. Other than that, I kept that motherfucking shit on me everywhere I went. To the shower, to school, to dinner, you know what I mean? Breakfast, rec, weight room, all that shit. I kept it in my pocket of my whitey tighties. Just in case they fucking found the hole in the window. But luckily, for my sake and from my life's sake, it didn't go down like that. So fucking somehow my guardian angel made it to where I was going to shop that day. So I left the weapons in my room. And what I did is I had them behind the drawlings in the little space between the windows and the screen. You know what I mean? Had it just pop, set back there underneath a shirt and shit like that. So I didn't have it with me that day. And my homie never took his weapons with him to school because he was in the food prep program because he had his GED. And he would go to another building and get strip searched every day. You know what I mean? When he came back. So what ended up happening was I had fucking shop class that day, so I didn't have my shit. So I'm sitting in class and shit, and I already had shop and stuff like that. There was like 8 staff members that opened up my classroom door and look at me. Yo, Havix, let's go. And instantly I knew what the fuck it was, dude. And you know what? I didn't have no weapons on me. I knew it. They were like 10 deep because they seen I had the weapons and shit like that, so they were ready to fuck me up. Soon as I got outside the classroom, they snatched me up by the skin of my neck, dragged me upstairs, started interrogating me and shit. And fucking what happened was they did a random shakedown. And like I said, as soon as they opened my door, he fucking heard it. Instantly went over to my window, seen the big gaping hole, fucking jaw drop. Everyone was blown away about it. They fucking went and got my homie. They were interrogating us. Neither one of us said anything. And because he was 18, he got shipped out to the local county jail. I was still under 18. So they added a whole nother 2 years onto my sentence. Beat up behind it. They fucking dislocated my knee. I was walking on crutches for like 2 months. Fucking, there multiple times I got restrained. They choked me because they were trying to get it out of me. You know, they found letters in homeboy's room when they searched it between him and the chick. They found fucking letters and found everything out. Like I said, at the time I was mad I didn't make it. I'm glad now that I'm older and it's been a lot of many years after that. I'm wiser and I'm glad, you know, it's for the better that it didn't happen. But let me tell you, it was a one crazy ass fucking time and a crazy ass situation, you know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all enjoyed the content, man. If y'all did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Let's get this shit up to 1K. You know what I'm saying? Much love to everyone that's been tuning in, giving me the positive feedback. Y'all the real MVPs, you know what I'm saying? Keep fucking with me, and I'm gonna just keep exposing all this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Till next time. You.